Poppy by far. And that's why all the folks on Poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on Poppycock back in the Poppycock Hills. They won't let me back on Poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. The earth don't spin at all on Poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. And beer don't stick to balls on Poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on Poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no Poppycock about that. Well, Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. Take it, Trey. Sheep don't like to flock on Poppycock, ain't no Poppycock pens. You might just find yourself on Poppycock, waking with a Poppycock can. And Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Poppycock, Poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.
Oh. Welcome, Poppy Cocker, Poppy Peepers, and Poppy crew. Welcome this morning. Yeah, it's a it's a weird world out there. We're still pulling for Rose. She is on the mend. She's doing better, but it's still a long road, and she just doesn't like you that much. I was kidding. Not kidding. She's just not at that into you. I mean, no, it's not true. She sends her love to everyone, and we have Karen B here this morning, whom I love. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you again for having me. Pleasure to be here.
I'm delighted to have you. In fact, I was just thinking, you have helped so much. I'm going to have to send you a check. Unfortunately, it's going to be a fact check. It's not worth the paper it's written on. I know. Well, the world is definitely a weird place, and we know this. We'll just jump right in this morning because. What the actual fuck? I don't even know where to start, man. This is just, it's just taking a wild turn. God, where do I want to go? Okay, this one's going to take a little bit of setup, so I guess I'll have to do this. There's been an interesting thing here that occurred. I got to find, where is this little deal? Yes. Okay, so there was an interesting, thing that happened the last couple of days, and so I don't know if anybody here plays the stock market or anything like that. I do not, because I, recognize that. Again, we're dealing with fiat currency to begin with, right? So it's a giant Ponzi scheme. The way they've set up the stock market and the trading system, right, is really only it's really mostly only effective for those who have, they're well connected and they have a lot of money. Everybody else who comes into play, that's where they take their money, right? You're the mark, and they're taking your money. So it's what happens when you the house always wins, right? You have whoever has the biggest pockets can do all sorts of stuff. Well, here's an example. To a business model that's been repeated by several major corporations. With the Walmart business model, it's the same as what Guitar Center did back in the day. Is that you move into a new area? You scout out of town. You go into the town. And they would go, Walmart would, for example, go shop all the pharmacies and grocery stores and clothing stores, because, that's what they sell, all the stuff. And then find their most popular items and what people buy. And then they would set up shop, right? Set up their Walmart, and then take those items and sell them at below cost so that the mom and pop shop cannot compete. Right? They can't sell products at a loss. And so everybody goes to the Walmart until mom and pop shop goes out of business. And then they close down. And then, of course, they raise their prices back up. And They got you. And there's no more mom and pop shop. This is their business model. This is how they do it. And it's gross and disgusting. And yes, I can say F the F and F's to that. If you haven't already, please visit the Etsy shop. Get your Fuck the Fucking Fuckers t-shirt. Ted's got his. I got mine.
Yes, he does.
Where's yours? Uh-huh. All right. So point being that this is how it works. And so if you're in a financially flush position, you can do this. You can hold out. And so there is a thing in stock trading that is basically it's called shorts, right? You short something. In other words, you're betting on, so when you buy stock, right, you're buying a part of that company and you're betting that it'll go up over time. You're holding that stock. There are people, you can do all kinds of stuff, right, derivatives and that sort of stuff. And you can short something. That is, you're betting that stock will go down. And so you're putting money on the fact that stock is going to devalue or go down in price. Well, GameStop, which is a place many people love to hate. It's a really, to me, it's a gross place, and it's a way for them to exploit kids and gamers. They sell you a game for $60, and it's not all you turn out to be, or you beat it and you come back and you want to trade it in. They're willing to give you $3 for it.
Right.
You buy a game system for $500, and they're willing to take it back if it's absolutely perfect for $40. And then they're going to resell it for $300, but they're doing you a solid, right? So they haven't done well, and of course, especially during the pandemic, they suffered. And so there were a number of people who wanted, and so there's a backstory here, and a lot of people aren't aware of this, and they're not sharing this entirely in the news, but there have been some corporate interests who were looking to take it over, and so basically want to force them out of business so they can buy it at a fire sale. Now, again, this harkens back all the way to the stock market crash of the 1920s, in which, and this is, again, how you control the economy. They gave out a lot of cheap credit and encouraged people to get loans to, upgrade their farms or upgrade your house. So you get cheap credit. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, no, it's margin call. No, we need that money back. And of course, nobody has it. And so they foreclose. And then that means that the bank gets your entire farm for simply pennies on the dollar. Well, this is the standard business prep model. Again, you force someone out of business and take their assets for next to nothing. And this has happened more than once in the American economy. Again, this is how Wall Street stole most of American farmland and turned them into commercial farms. And then, again, big agriculture, right? Then they feed you, and of course you're addicted to their food, and so nobody grows food anymore, and on and on and on. This is how you control shit. All right, so all that to get here. So GameStop there was a couple of companies looking to buy them, force them out of business, so they started devaluing their stock and shorting them, betting that their stock would go short. Well, interestingly enough, there's a subreddit called Wall Street Bets, where people, these are basically, people using E-Trade and stuff like that, not big players, just people on the street, but it's the power of the community. And so they got together and said, hey, these guys are shorting it and trying to drive the price down. So let's get together, buy it cheap, and make the price go up, and fuck these fucking fuckers. And they did. The price soared. The price soared, and they fucked the guys, the hedge funds, who were trying to short it. So they lost a fucking fortune. And
that's great.
It's not only great, but what they did. So what happened here? But here's the downside, right? Is big tech. They didn't like that, right? So what they do, they shut down that server and said it was hate speech. Because they got scared, right? They got scared because they were losing their fucking ass money because we fucked them. I say we, I didn't do it, but people fucked the big guy. It was awesome. But they shut him down, right? So they shut down that server because, and they said it didn't do it for financial fraud. They said it continued to allow hateful and discriminatory content after repeated warnings. Bullshit. Right. Just like everything else, they never tell you what you did. They just go, oh, repeated stuff. And I'll comment on that again. But that's how they do it. But I love it. I love fuck the fucking fuckers, man. You guys did awesome. I don't play the market, and but you guys. You fucking go, man. I love that shit. You fucked them
Yeah.
hard. I mean, I don't know how long it'll last, but that was delightful. They panicked and they had to shut down the server because they lost their ass. Love that shit. All right. So there's a win. There's a win for the people. I like that. Probably tell what kind of mood I'm in this morning. So yeah, we're going to touch a bit on these fucked checkers because again, we know they are lying to you, but we'll touch on some stuff here. All right. So some 70 hours into his presidency, Biden, everything he's done is, if you believe, again, if you believe the mainstream narrative, which of course we don't, but what's coming out of Washington, D.C., and of course, to further divide the country, because this is what they do. They polarize people, and that's why we look at this stuff, right, is to see the process. And so some 70 hours in, he has, again, if you were a, if you were a flag-waving American before all this stuff happened, I don't know why, but if you were, you'd be like, what? He's essentially just taking the country and throwing it right in the toilet, like on purpose, like slam dunk, just like everything. Hey, fuck you guys, and you know what? I'm just going to set this thing on fire. You don't mind, do you? Oh, dear. Causing gas prices to jump. And of course, we talked about that on Tuesday. They said, no, it's not. That's not happening. Go outside. So this is yet one more example. And I think that's something I want to look at this year for those of us in the Poppy tribe is to do a little bit of citizen journalism, just like Film Your Hospital, right? To demonstrate firsthand that what the media is telling you is a lie. I mean, because I've seen it half a dozen times in just the last 3 or 4 days, where the media will report something and people go, no, here we are. We're right here. Not happening. I think that is... that's a possibility to wake stuff up. You got to have it right in the face because people, they got to be slapped hard. Well, here we go again. Biden causing major job losses, all kinds of shit going south. I don't even want to get into it, but it's fucked. And this is it's not an accident, right? It is, it's the same thing as they're poking you in the eye. Well, let's take a look at this. What do we got? You remember how at the beginning of this whole scamdemic, Karen, the images that we saw coming out of China, do you remember what that looked like?
Yes.
Describe to me, please.
Well, it looked ridiculous. It looked fake. It's why I didn't
yeah.
think this was going to go anywhere. It was like people spazzing in the street and they were dragging
Yes.
people off. It looked like a really bad B horror movie.
Yes, it looked like a moon landing, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's what we had. Let me see, where did I put this? I had a story here somewhere. Was this it? Yeah, I don't know. Can't find it, but it's real because I'll just look for it again. You'll see this. China, COVID. Oh, shoot, I missed it. There we go. China rolls out anal swab coronavirus test, saying it's more accurate than the throat method because we were, of course, joking about how, if they told you to stick your thumb up your ass to prevent the spread, you'd do it. Well,
Here you go.
here you go.
Here's your sign.
Yep. If you are not yet up to speed on the fact that they are poking you in the brown eye. Well, there we go. I think we did talk about this on Tuesday, but damn. Are you fucking kidding me? So this is the bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
And not only that, but not 2 masks, but 3 masks.
Oh yeah, 3. Well, I'll just go for 10, right? I'll say just stuff a pillow over your face and call it good. So did Fauci say wearing 2 masks is better than 1? Oh, God. All right, so I guess I'm going to be all over the place because I have all this stuff everywhere here. Speaking of scamdemic, and I'll just kind of put this in there. All right, so see this? Fact check. The vaccine for COVID-19 has been nearly 20 years in the making. Now, according to the original story that we were told, they didn't even identify it until late 2019. So how is it possible it's 20 years in the making unless you did it on purpose, unless you've been designing that stuff on purpose? Do you remember, I don't have the link here, but do you remember when, let's see, what's it, 2009? Muammar Gaddafi stood before the United Nations and said... Basically, I would say, I quote, but this is very close. They are planning, the United Nations, they are planning, they are developing, he said, viruses that they already have the the vaccine and the virus, and they're going to roll out the vaccine, or they're going to roll out the virus and then say, oh, but look, we have the cure for you, and that's how they're going to get you. And then you know what? He died. Well, I see. What?
Yeah.
What did she say? We came, we saw, he died. Is that what she said, Hillary? Yeah, I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
So, he laid it out there. So again, I rarely would I quote Muammar Gaddafi, but again, sometimes people tell the truth. I'll point that out a couple of times here this morning, because they actually do have to. They say the truth, but again, they put it in the context. So yes, fact check. The COVID-19 has been 20 years in the making. Yeah, I'll buy that, but not in the way they're telling you.
Right. How did they tell you?
I didn't even read it because I just saw that and went, oh, come on. See, and then they're not going to let me go through it. But you see Fauci, and right? If you study his work on AIDS and what he did there, you know what he's about, right? He has literally, and I stand behind these numbers. I would have to put together a large aggregate thing to show you all the stuff, but I can demonstrate that he has, through his unethical test and negligence, killed more people than were ascribed to Josef Mengele in World War II. He was supposedly doctor of death.
It's so funny you just said that name, because I was just about to say he's probably worse than Mengele at this point.
He actually is, by quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not even a contest.
Nope. Nope. So we got that. New York Times says over here, you see this on the sidebar, in Biden's Catholic faith and ascendant liberal Christianity. No offense to anybody, but Catholic isn't Christian, and ascendant liberal Christianity is no such thing. That's like saying a democratic truther. It ain't. If you belong to a political party, you do not go by the truth. Let's see. I'm going to touch on this one big time this morning. This DHS warns of domestic terror threats. Are we entering a period of political violence after Trump? Only because you're causing it, and you're faking it until people get out there and try to respond to it because they're pissed off at what's happening. And then you go, see, you're doing it. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Trevor Noah horrified by QAnon nut Marjorie Taylor Greene's murder fantasies. Well, what is that murder fantasy? Of course, when they call it a baseless claim, you can tell for sure that it has truth behind it, because they're trying to dismiss it. If Trevor Noah gets involved, you can guarantee it's the other way. Whatever that guy says, he is such a shill. He almost makes me sicker than Bill Nye. This guy's gross.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's just disgusting. And he's so condescending and smarmy. I want to... Well, it tests my my resolve for nonviolence. I'll tell you that. That guy is disgusting. So we'll just leave that. But anyway, so what are they talking about? Parkland, apparently Marjorie Taylor mentioned that she didn't buy the story that they're telling there. And, of course, they're calling her a nut job. But when they say baseless claims... Right? Oh, and he's horrified. This is exactly the same as what they did after. Remember, right after a couple of years after Handy shook, when people started getting their, they go, wait a minute, this is bullshit. There was a spate of television shows, mostly like procedurals, like CSI and that sort of stuff, in which they would feature. And I remember a couple of them specifically because my wife had it on in the background. I was like, what? In which they specifically had an episode in which there was a character that believed, right, in, quote, the conspiracy theory that nothing happened. And they would go insane and start crying and go, you terrible person, because I was there and all these kids died and blah, blah, just reinforcing it. Again, you got to do that. When that's necessary, you don't have the truth.
Exactly.
Right? When you have to fake it, when you have to lie, you don't have the truth. It's just the basic stuff.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Yep. Okay. So God, there's just so much stuff, and I feel bad because I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm probably not making much sense, but Proud Boys leader was prolific informer for law enforcement. So again, what they felt like there was a threat from Proud Boys, and so is it probable that the Proud Boys leader was an informer for law enforcement? Absolutely. In fact, probably was a COINTELPRO operative. But again, now they're telling you so that you don't trust, right? And this is What's one of the biggest things we have in the truth community that's an issue is everybody calling everybody else a shill because we don't trust anybody else because there are shills, right? But people can't seem to discern the difference between a different viewpoint and someone who actually is a shill who's trying to create problems. And
Right.
it bothers me because I see this, even in our groups on Facebook, right? I have seen, last couple of weeks where people come in and they pretend as though they're innocently asking questions, right? I just want to know. But their position at the outset is to poo-poo it and say it's not true, unless you can convince me. And then you give them all the evidence and they go, I just don't get it. This doesn't make any sense to me, right? It's appeal to incredulity. And frankly, appeal to stupidity. I don't get it, so it can't be true. Well, here's the document right here, like just for example, as I described on Tuesday, demonstrating the PCR test adjustment. Well, but I don't get it. It doesn't say that. Well, it doesn't say it explicitly because they're not going to come out and say, oh, hey, we were lying. They're not going to do that, right? They say, make these adjustments. You refer to instructions for use. And they don't even say that. They say, refer to the IFU, right? This is what they do. They use jargon to hide it. And I don't understand the jargon, so that's not what it says. But when they play that game and they keep flipping it over, and here's another good indicator. They go chasing down the same meme, right? They go chasing down the same meme and say the same shit as though but I'm innocent, right? And then if you say, hey, knock it off, you're being obtuse, right? You're not listening to what we're saying, and it's not our job to educate you, right? Here's the information. Here's where to go get it. Learn. Right? I'm not, you're demanding a college education and you're demanding that I take the 50,000 hours plus of research that I've done over decades and suddenly, confer it to you like magic. Come on. Right? And then they complain if you go, hey, go do the research yourself. Then I can't believe you would be so mean. I'm just trying to ask questions. Right? Even that creates division because then there are people in the community going, why were you mean to them? Well, because you can't see what they're doing here, right? Their whole point is to cast doubt and aspersions on it, not by actually bringing any facts, but just by saying, I don't get it, so it's not real. I don't get it, so it's not real. I don't understand it. That can't be right. And that's how they do, right? They're just playing on making you question what you know. And if you aren't 100% sure, and if you really aren't quite there on some of the science and technology, it'll cast doubt. And that's their whole play, right? And then they come back in and again, they create a division. And then beyond that, right, then people start taking this stuff real seriously. They see that there is a few they see that there are, misinformation, disinformation in our community. And then if somebody doesn't agree with them on something, let's say, oh, hey, Anders, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Coffee. I'll buy a cup of coffee. So when they see somebody who disagrees with them on something, let's say one person's into mud fossils, right? And the other person goes, nah, come on. Then, you're a shill. Right? We agree on everything else except for that one thing. But if we don't agree on that, you're a shill. Come on. I mean, man, right? You got to be able. That's just not good discernment, right? And then if you're, if we continue to do this and eat our own, well, that's exactly what they want, and that's why these people come into the community. That's what controlled opposition is about, to create division. Because if they ever let us get our shit together, just like GameStop, we will fuck the fucking fuckers, right? And
That's
so
right.
they cannot allow it to happen. They can't allow it to happen. And so this is kind of what my point was this morning. And I'm going to, again, I hesitate a little bit because I don't want to be accused, right, of being a fear-mongering or like, oh, he's trying to fear porn us. No, guys, I would never do that. The whole point of this is to laugh. But there are some things that I think that we should take seriously, and that is the threat, the imminent threat, the danger. I don't know what to put it. Again, if I sent Karen overnight a couple of articles, and I said, I've been calling this for years, and I said, should I start dressing in camel hair and eating locusts? Because I called this one a number of years ago, right? Which is essentially that those of us who see the truth are going to be coined as the new domestic terrorist. And I've been calling this for some time. I've been seeing the lines converge, and now it's being openly stated. And this is similar to the feeling I had when having been familiar with and understanding the nature of what the New World Order agenda well before George W. Bush, or Herbert Walker Bush Sr., made his infamous 1991 speech on 9/11. And there's how many 9/11s can you get in that date? But whenever he made that speech and he named the New World Order, you could have broke off a number 2 pencil in my bunghole, man. I was like, oh, shit, here we go. It's the boogaloo. And that was 1991. Well, of course, it wasn't. And I underestimated, I was young, and as I underestimated the glacial pace at which they move, I didn't, I guess I would say I was wrong. But just let's say I wasn't wrong. It was just premature. And so here we go. They are now drawing a direct line, and you are the target. And not just in the U.S. This is going to be worldwide. And so let me find where I began this. Oh, here we go. All right. So domestic terror. So this is what you're going to be called. Because you did anything? No. Because you don't follow their narrative. Right? If you take a different position. In fact, if we take the position that, for example, nobody died, nobody got hurt. That's the opposite of terror. Right? That's encouraging.
Right.
Nobody died, nobody got hurt. They're considering that you're a terrorist. Right? Because now I'm going to show you something that's going to probably concern you. Homeland Security warns of heightened domestic terror threat after a U.S. Capitol attack. I don't see an attack there. They were let in. I saw a video of them opening the doors to let them in. And they say, scuffled with police. No, the police stood there and talked to them. I saw multiple videos of that. But now, see, we have
the police were taking selfies with everybody.
Yeah. So now Department of Homeland Security issues a rare alert for heightened threat of domestic terror. Right. So now FBI issues first of kind domestic terror alert focus on lone wolf offenders. This means that you don't have to be part of a group. They can just single you out and go, we don't like what you said. Now, before I go much further, what was said, right? So I think everybody here, if you spend any time on social media, you've probably spoken your mind more than once, right? You find that not just do you get pushback from, from your wool-wearing friends, but you eventually, if you do it enough and you do it loud enough, the tech oligarchy will come after you. You have violated our terms of service. How? Well, you issued hate speech. What? Well, they won't tell you why. They do it. So who do they do that to? Now, here's the thing, and this is the danger, and this is what I've been saying for a while, and I felt for a while like I was, yelling at a wall. Nobody was listening, even in our community. But again, I didn't really have a platform. This is just people that I was talking to. But I have said from the beginning, I will say I was actually surprised that they put Cheeto Jesus in the White House, right? Because it looked for all the world to me like they were just going to push in Hillary. I mean, they'd done everything they needed to do to cheat to get her there, so why not put her in? But as soon as they put him in, and I saw the way the media was handling it, I went, oh, I get it. I get it, right? He became, and I've said before, the proxy pinata, the punching bag. Right. And so what they did was they conferred upon him everything that they basically hate about us, and they make him a caricature of what they think you are. And I don't know if I said that as explicitly clear that way, but let me try again. So let's not mistake this, right? I'm not saying that Trump is like you are. What I'm saying is Trump plays a character that is their caricature of what they think you are. Right? A bumbling, idiotic, Dunning-Kruger, you think you're smart, but you're not. You make wild claims. You're just shooting from the hip, and you're uninformed, and you're anti-science. He's playing a character of like a TV part of the way they write you, right? The conspiracy theorist guy. That's what it is. And they got everybody to hate that, so they hate you because that's what they think you are. Am I clear? Does that make sense to you guys? You following here? That's what they've done. And so going all the way back to when they took Alex Jones, right? When they deplatformed Alex Jones, and everybody went, yeah. So those on the far left, the sheeple, went, yeah, because he's a crazy conspiracy guy, right? Even the people in the right, even people in our group would go, yeah, it's about time they took that guy down because he's controlled opposition, and we don't want it. We don't want people being misled. And again, if you say that, right, you're missing. Wow. Again, the idea of free speech is free speech, not speech that you agree with. Right. The whole point of free speech is that you have the freedom to say what you want, even if it's offensive or wrong. Right. Because this assumes that those who are listening have the wherewithal and the mental acuity to decide for themselves whether that information is accurate and worthy of acting on. And when you prevent that from happening, you are infantilizing the listener by saying you don't have the acuity to figure it out. We're going to help you do it for you. And that's exactly what fact checkers are, right? You're too dumb to figure it out. We're going to be your nanny state, and we're going to tell you, what is right and what's wrong. And that's what they've done. So when you cheered for Alex Jones to get deplatformed, you cheered for the guillotine to be built, not realizing that you were in line to come up next. And I saw that early on and raised the flag. I'm not the only one that got it, certainly. Lots of people have talked about the freedom of speech and that freedom of speech protects unpopular speech. It protects speech that is wrong and offensive. But the freedom, right? Again, I may vehemently disagree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. And this is what is being destroyed. And with collusion with people, again, the people with best intentions being lied to say this is dangerous, right? It leads to domestic terrorism. This is the lie. And this is now what they're saying you are. If you disagree, if you don't go with their narrative, if you don't believe their bullshit, then you are a domestic terrorist, direct line. And that's where we've gotten to. And so this is what they've done with Trump. They take Alex Jones and just put it in the White House. This is basically what they did, right? Oh, that worked great. Let's do this. So immediately they deplatformed him. Right. So here's what you get. And I really hope that my friend, his much bigger channel than I do. I know it says 3.45 thousand subscribers, but this is his backup channel. He has tens of thousands of subscribers. I hope he doesn't get me with a copyright on this because he put together some stuff and it is pretty remarkable. Again, what he points out here in several different places, and I'll just kind of show you a couple of things here, is that what has happened, and it is unprecedented, is that, again, businesses shut down the president of the United States from speaking. I don't care what you think about him, right? I consider him an asset. He's on their team, no question, right? So I don't give any validity to what he says, right? But it is the fact that people cheer, and this is allowed for the president of the United States to be completely taken off social media. And the precedent that this sets is nobody gets to say anything against what we're doing. Even the president. We don't give a fuck who you are. You think you get to say, you think we won't deplatform you if we're not going to deplatform the president? Get the fuck out, right? So here we go. You can see that. I'll give you a little chance to hear a little bit of this because this is the world we live in.
Kick these people off the plane because they support President Trump. And you got all these fucktards standing around.
So these people got kicked off a plane for literally wearing MAGA gear. That's it. And they were called, people on the plane said that they were domestic terrorists and they wouldn't fly with them because they thought they were terrorists because they wore red clothes. Right?
That's insanity.
It is insanity. And this is what we've come to. And this is what people believe because they've made you believe it. Well, you
say, if they push censorship more, we'll fight back and we won't let them. Who are you going to tell? You can't go through mainstream sources.
Right.
CNN, MSNBC.
And so now here we have, all right, so we're holding those who lied for Trump accountable. That's not, read through the lines there, that we're holding those who agree with Trump in any way or disagree with us accountable. We're coming after you. Mm-hmm. They're telling you, right, they're coming after you in no uncertain terms. Deplatforming Trump isn't enough. Wants to shield internet from bad actors. So, again, who's a bad actor? Well, according to them, we are, including the sitting president of the United States had his email provider cut off from service. He couldn't even fucking send an email. The president of the United States, not you, not me, not Baldini, not Karen, not Ted, right? Not Crow. The president of the fucking United States, they turned off his email. Now, again,
That's fucking crazy.
This is what they're telling you. Now, so again, let's back up for a moment and go, it's part of the show, right? So did that
Right.
actually happen? It's part of the show. But
Yeah.
what they're telling you is that it's going to happen to you. You don't get any better special treatment. We didn't give the president the special treatment. We're not going to give it to you. Are you nuts? This is why. It's not because they actually, are afraid of Trump or he's actually going to save you, right? Come on. I mean, we've gone through that before, the whole Q narrative. Just knock it off. But because, I'll say again, if you got pulled into the Q thing, man, don't feel too bad. There's parts of it that you wanted to believe, right? We've all been lied to. We all believed in shit that wasn't true. So it's okay, but just snap back. Don't double down. Don't dig it deeper, right? Because you're not helping yourself. Find the truth and go with the truth. Here's another one, right? So here you got Noam Chomsky.
With regard to my defense of the utterly offensive, the people who express utterly offensive views, I haven't the slightest doubt that every commissar says, you're defending that person's views. No, I'm not. I'm defending his right to express them. The difference is crucial, and the difference has been understood outside of fascist circles.
Oh, snap. Outside of fascist circles. He just directly called them
In
fascist.
the 18th century.
Is there anything like objectivity?
And what happened? This is so what do? They pulled the plug on the conversation. He says, "What's this, censorship? Did you was it censorship? No, we just didn't like what you were saying." That I think that's the textbook example of censorship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it only gets worse, guys, and I hate to tell you that. It's only going to get worse because it's now taken on, and I'm going to show you that. Oh, I don't know if I can show you that. This is. I'll pause here for a moment because I want to come back to this to show you how easy it is. All right. This week. Where's that article? Dun, 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 dun. Oh God, where is it at? I got to find this article because this was. No, come on. I know I didn't drop that article. Oh, you're kidding. Where did that article go? Because this, I'll find it. I got to find it because, here we go. Right. It is this one. I was mistaken because of Florida Man. I had Florida Man up and then this one, it's titled Florida Man, but look at this. Guys, it's here. A Florida man charged with election interference by spreading disinformation, usually via memes.
What?
They are bringing up federal charges against Douglas McKay. Again, is it real? Yeah, I don't know. But they're telling you, a 31-year-old social media influencer, they're charging him with conspiring to spread disinformation designed to deprive individuals of their constitutional right to vote.
What?
By using memes.
That's so stupid.
It's they're charging him with a federal crime, and they're going to make this domestic terrorism for your memes.
Clown world.
Not just clown world, but yeah.
Fascist clown world.
Yes. Poppy camp or FEMA camp. I'm sorry, re-education camp, because yeah. I mean, it's just re-education. I mean, it's. I'm sure it's much needed, right? Because what happens if you go around, people go around willy-nilly thinking for themselves, right? I mean, they might have original thought or start asking questions, and that's, you can't say the forbidden words. Is that really true? So, before you go to the camp, just 2 and 2 is 5. Just remember, save yourself some trouble. Okay, I think this is all kind of part of it, but again, with the fact checkers and stuff, again, so Hank Aaron, we talked about this on Tuesday. Legendary baseball player Hank Aaron was getting the jab to demonstrate to other African Americans that it was safe to get it, and then it killed him.
Yeah.
And then, and now, where did they come back? They say, he wanted to be example. He may not have been a clear example to black people, but they're saying that So social media. Look at this. The AFP fact check. Look how. I mean, it's so vile to me to watch people just lie. Like, there's a few things I hate more than just liars, especially those that are just overt, just like right in your face. It just makes you so angry. Social media posts and an online article link Atlanta baseball legend Hank Aaron's death to his Moderna COVID-19 vaccination. True. With some posts seeking to raise fears among black people about the safety of vaccines. No, so you're going to throw in racism as well? The fuck race had to do with this? What the fuck did the color of his skin have to do with the fact that it killed him?
Don't know.
Why you got to go there, right? It's like, and this shit irritates me. Yeah, so this is the bit here. GOP chooses Trump and QAnon, right? So now they're again to further create the divide. I had a bunch of stuff on this page, but NBA reporter dies at 48 from COVID. No, he didn't. But there's what was the one that I had? I just wanted this as an aside. Pakistan's top court frees men. I don't know if you remember this, if you've been around for a while. The guys who convicted in killing. If you remember Daniel Pearl, he was a reporter for.
Yes.
Yep. Beheaded on video, allegedly. I mean, again. Everything was, but if you accept it, whatever. But Pakistan, but anyway, supposedly, here's the story. They beheaded this guy live on video, got the guys who did it, identified them, but took them to court, and now they freed the guys who did it. Go Pakistan, if that's real.
Wow.
Either way, fuck the fucking fuckers. That's what
yeah.
This would be again the point of this show generally is to laugh at this stuff, but it is becoming more and more difficult to laugh as the walls close in on what they're trying to do, right? Which is take you to a re-education camp. But again, I'm not trying to scare you, but they're telling you. I'm just telling you what they're telling you, right? Which is. The guy got brought up on federal charges for memes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insanity.
Is that real? Fuck, I don't know, right? I can't confirm it, but they're telling you. The point is, either way, they're telling you that you're eligible too, right? Yet stands for you're eligible too. More former something embezzlement just for your entertainment there. Lots of former something embezzlement, so whatever that means. Here's an interesting one. You guys have become familiar with the news map that Rose is fond of, and I picked it up from her. Went to launch it the other day, and guess what? It says, you need the new, you don't have the proper Flash player installed. Click here to download the latest version, except for, you know what? Adobe doesn't support Flash anymore as of the 12th of this month, and so no worky. Flash
really?
Yep, Flash is dead. You can't do it. So that whole thing is done.
Wow.
So that's good. We like that. And to tell you how easy it is for you to be taken away, we'll come back here to our friends at Clown World. If you missed the context, they're fining people for not wearing a mask. The thing about this here is that this is a continuous, unedited shot that goes for a couple of minutes. And what happens...
Sociably, and I was sat on a bench having a cup of coffee. That is not antisocial. Well, because yes, you're provoking me. You are. You literally are. Are you going to give us your details? No.
But we're not done.
What's going on?
Why are you putting your hands behind your back?
What are you doing?
I was sitting on a bench. It's not attacking I was sitting on a bench.
What the hell are you doing to this woman?
You are breaking your own laws.
This is disgusting. What are you doing? What's this poor woman doing?
I was sitting on a bench. Why the hands behind your back?
You've got to choose your side.
Yeah.
Why are her hands behind your
How about that? I saw your thing in Joe there. Who was that? That somebody we know got a jab and died? Oh, dude, you got to tell me about that. Send me an email. This is chilling to me. It looks, for all the world, to me, like what we're told Nazi Germany looked like. I mean, again, all that's kind of a lie. It's certainly propaganda. Everything that we see now, history is but a lie agreed upon. But this is what we're told happened. I mean, they just run around grabbing people. And again, if you don't think they will do it to you, I would say think again, because even if everything that we're seeing here is a setup, right? What's the purpose? The purpose is either A, to scare you into compliance, or B, to do as I'm suggesting, which is just to tell you you're eligible to it. They're telling you what's coming. That's cute. I like that. I don't know if you saw that. Just a little clip there he put in for entertainment. But yeah, we're having a discussion here. The same thing. He's harassing these guys, and the cop continues to tell them that they're breaking the law. And there's like, tell me the law. And there's like, well, just mandate. He goes, no, that's not a law. And we keep going around and around on that. Oh, just a little bit more stuff in here. Oh, yeah, here's just more of the same of rousting up, no thinkers, right? That's what they have. I don't know if you kind of saw that meme. Yeah, here you go. Oh, this is actually funny here. I'll play this because it amuses me. I'm going to get people are going to get mad because they think you're taking politics. You support Trump because you're making fun of Biden. No, come on, it's just funny.
This pandemic. The pandemic is that the president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the country, the world. I'm dealing with these things. We led, like Barack Obama led in the in the pandemic that occurred when we were in office. It was kept in Africa. We organized the world. We put things together.
Oh, and there's the there's the Pope's audience chamber that looks all the world like a snake. Some fangs and some eyes.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Oh, and the rising of demons from the hell back there. But nothing to see there. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. What's here we go. Your credit score should be based on your web history, according to the International Monetary Fund. Now, why the fuck would the International Monetary Fund be involved? Well, because they all are, right? But just saying, your web history. So credit score. So they're telling you again, social credit score coming. And be a good snitch. An 18-year-old saw her mom, aunt, and uncle in D.C. in a video, so she named them. So be a good snitch. Be a good snitch. Facebook officially silences the President of the United States for better or worse. Remember, as a turning point. We kind of covered that idea. And you are... Apple joins Google in suspending Parler from App Store because, again, there's a platform where you might be able to say something we can't control. Fuck that. Oh, and cancel culture. Trump to be digitally removed from Home Alone 2 cameo scene after Twitter ban. Good stuff. In Home Alone 2 where he gives directions to the kid. No, they're going to take him out. Yeah, I think they probably just should put Biden in there and comes up and sniffs him. I think that'd be appropriate.
Ugh.
What do you think, Karen? A little sniff?
Oh, God.
Yeah. A little sniff. I love how International Business Times, look at the image that's associated with this. Trump to be digitally removed from Home Alone 2 cameo scene. Who do they got? Stalin. Now, they're making the point that this, in history, there was this picture of Stalin, and what the historical picture released by the Russians, what they consider the historical picture, they take this guy out. So it's just him standing there giving the hidden paw, right? The lion's paw, the hidden hand, Illuminati confirmed, sign, and just by himself, like standing there with power because this guy was too close to him, right? So, and looked like a weasel. So they took that guy out, and that's the official Russian picture. So they're making that point, but I love that. Yeah, I think he should be sniffing them, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So,
oh God.
Yeah, so there we go. Anyway, and this is a good one. I just thought I'd throw this in because science. We talk a lot about scientism, science, the hoaxes that they tell you. They say, again, if they say scientists believe, scientists think, that's not science.
Right.
Science doesn't think, they don't believe. It's a process. So, scientists should be people that follow the scientific method. That would be like Zach.
Right.
people like Cammie, people that actually follow the scientific method, not people who spout shit out their ass and go, I believe that, and then come up with nonsense and support bullshit. But this is it's an interesting article. And in fact, it's from, IFS, I fucking love science, which I fucking love scientism, because there's no science on that webpage at all. There's nothing actual science. That's the best part of the irony. But there's some fascinating stuff in here. There's a little left turn. I probably should just cover this in one of my regular shows because of the content. But it says these are the craziest scientific paper of all time, or very clever hoax. Again, the thing that I find fascinating is that this is it's kind of, it's one of those gag hoax scientific papers that got published, and then people missed it, and then they're like, oh, wow, because it is pretty nonsensical and crazy. But there's a couple of little really interesting bits in there that we have just recently been talking about. But when they embed truth in the middle of nonsense, the whole point is to dismiss the truth as nonsense. Right. This is what they would do in the 1960s with after the Kennedy assassination. When they coined the term conspiracy theorist, they would immediately evoke things like people who don't believe the Warren Commission report also believe in the UFO and Bigfoot. Right? They just put them all together and lump it together. Now, I can see in my mind's eye Karen going, but Bigfoot is real, and UFOs are a thing. Anyway, but it's perception. They're trying.
Sometimes they're seen together.
Right, they are in fact seen together. Although JFK is never nearby. I don't know about that. Maybe JFK Jr. And Q show up. But just I want to show you a couple of things from this, and again show you the interesting bits here. Scientists from many fields are. In fact, I'll put the link here in the chat if you want to have a look yourself, because it's worth a lark, but there's an interesting spot in there. Scientists from many fields are scratching their heads over a paper claiming a black hole in the center of the Earth is shaping our DNA. Well, of course, that sounds nonsensical since we know that it's not a ball with a center, but let's continue. It's either a brilliant satire on conspiracy theories, or, because there's conspiracy theories in the second sentence in the first paragraph, or the worst thing to be published on physics, genetics, and chemistry for a long time, possibly ever, except for there's actually valid things in here. I'm going to show you that. Either way, we want to know how it got past peer review. Well, because peer review is bullshit. That's why. Last year, the Macedonian Journal of Medical Science published a paper under the astonishing title, A Black Hole at the Center of the Earth Plays the Role of the Biggest System of Telecommunication for Connecting DNAs, Dark DNAs, and Molecules of Water on 4+ N-dimensional manifold. Now, the headline's out there. Right? They got some good stuff in here. And it uses, pseudoscience to make some very spurious claims. But here's the really interesting part. The paper contradicts many long-established scientific conclusions. In other words, bullshit. Claiming the structure is the main cause of the emergence of the large temperature of the core. Nonsense. Magnetic field around the Earth. Nonsense. And gravitational field for moving around the sun. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. But wait, the authors are just warming up. They move on, claiming each DNA has two parts, which can be seen on the four-dimensional universe, and another one has existed in extra dimensions, and its effects are only observed. But wait, we're getting to it. Here we go. Then we get to the part about how dark DNA help, quote, water molecules store information and have memory. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Because this is stuff that we're just now coming to. I'm after 2 years of dedicated research into water. I'm just now getting to some of the really good stuff about water carrying memory, and it may in fact be it's certainly I haven't. You may not know this, but in fact, the early conversations, the reason I appeared on Crow 777 at all was we were talking about water. I'd been doing this research on water and going, do you have any idea how crazy this shit is? And it got so deep that there's no way I could do it within a 2-hour show. And then in the interim, I said, oh, hey, there's this surveillance state stuff happening we need to talk about. And that became episodes 154 and 156. And then I guess the rest is history from there. I've still never done the water episode. It's too much. I don't even, write a book on it. I still wouldn't be done. It's too, deep.
I was going to say probably more like a series.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's one of the biggest things about it is water shows evidence of being self-organizing, which means sentient. It means it is, it not only holds memory, it seems to have preferences and behaves autonomously. we're getting into some weird shit here. Water's alive? It's really weird. When I show this stuff to you, it's gonna, I don't know, it blew my mind, and I still can't quite get my head around it because the implications are staggering. But keeping in mind that we start at the very beginning of the creation story in Genesis, though in the beginning there was darkness on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered above the waters, and He separated the waters above from the waters below, and then we're made primarily of water. Nothing can exist without water. No life can exist without water or the sun. Those are the two elements you must have, or that observably that we know that you must have to support life is water and the sun. So. Anyway, I found this fascinating that they put these elements that are in there. One, they're talking about DNA, and so I'm going to look a little bit closer and read the entire paper because I'm fascinated what else they might have put in there. Because I bet there's another goodie in there, with them having put in there that water has memory. And they were talking. I saw an allusion to the idea that this is. They were saying. Stringy black anti-DNA and radiated signs of neural circuits. What they were implying is that water is a media through which we can telepathically communicate. And I don't necessarily dismiss that.
Well, I don't dismiss that. I also don't think we necessarily need water, but I guess if we're made of water, it's one of the things. I mean, I guess it's necessary. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
weird.
Well, I mean, from my end, I mean, having taken organic chemistry, that's again, so of course they lied to us. But one of the premises in organic chemistry is that water is a necessary component for life. It simply cannot exist without water, as life as we know it.
Right.
Let's put it that way. Life as we know it could not exist without water.
Right.
And so fascinating, and it's interesting stuff. So. I wanted to throw this up there, just this one. Fuck checkers and fuck Monopoly as well. Let me get that. So, thought that was funny. Just touching at the stuff at the end here. Rural medical center suspended from vaccination program after inoculating school district staff. You see, they're saying that they have this A1A plus category, right? Those who need it the most are the old people and frontline workers. And so this person went out on their own and gave it to people at the school district because he didn't want the kids to, blah, blah, blah. This nonsense. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling poppycock in this story what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Again, the idea is to make you want it, to give it value. This is exactly what you do in marketing. If you have, let's say, a slow-selling product and you can't get it to get traction, then you simply make it even more difficult to get. You release a press release saying that it's so popular that we can't fill orders fast enough. That gives the impression that its scarcity is due to the fact that people want it. When the fact is that nobody wants it, and so it's not on order, and so no stores have it. And so they go to the store. Do they have it? No. Oh, that's because it's so popular. We sold out. No, that's not actually it. But that's. So today, I'll just put it this way. Today, the meme fuck the fucking fuckers in the financial market, but it's also going to send you to jail. Well, not you. I'm not saying your meme is going to send you to jail, but I'm saying, according to Newsweek, federal charges against a guy for memes. So that's interesting. And if you just want to do a quick, Google search of domestic terror and news, you'll get a long list of stuff here because this is what I'm getting to. Oh, notice this. Look at that. After Capitol riot, and then you've got a noose there with the Capitol building in the background. It's good stuff. But who are they saying are the domestic terrorists? Well, they're calling you far right, even though nobody that I know in this community has political beliefs like that. We think it's all nonsense. But that's they're demonizing the right, so they got to throw you in it. They go, oh, well, you're right wing, and what does the right wing believe? Well, whatever you believe, just anything opposite of what we believe. I just make it up. In other words, anybody that doesn't believe what they believe is a Nazi. That's what they've been doing for 2 years now. Biden vowed to defeat domestic terrorism. Well, and you're going to see more and more. Here's my prediction. You're going to see more and more calls for tougher laws on what they're going to call domestic terrorism. And they're going to expand that definition to include memes. Right, or just what we're doing here. This is going to be called domestic terrorism, this conversation. when it is certainly from my position the antithesis of what I would recommend to people to do, which is to behave in a violent manner. Right? I take the position of spreading love into the world, and that love fucks up hatred. Mm-hmm. And to them, that is domestic terrorism. So now, of course, they're not above lying to create this impression, as we've seen in the news over and over. But here we are. All right, I'm going to wrap it now, because if I don't, I'll be going forever. Karen, I really apologize. I don't think I've let you get 2 words in edgewise today, and
I think I did say a couple words.
I'm sorry. I feel bad. I genuinely do. It's like I so value your opinion and your perception on this stuff, and I just sorry.
I know it's hard. It's hard not to go off. I mean, clearly I've been thinking this for the last week. It's almost like they've always been doing it, but they're even more so they're blurring the lines between what's real and what's fake. It's like, how do you even tell? It's getting harder and harder to tell what's real and what's not. And I think that's obviously on purpose.
Yes. In fact, they're doing it. Yes. You're spot on. This is why I value your, because you just nailed it in just like that. I spent an hour getting there, and you're like, one sentence, here you go. Yeah, they flip the narrative, right? And so they make the truth preposterous, and they make ridiculous. Again, they're unfounded, baseless into truth. That's what they say is true, and that's their clown world. That's the clown world. I missed a whole bunch of stuff this morning, including physicians' deaths. Some vaccine deaths are getting into the news, but again, in a way, it's exactly what I've been saying, right? They get enough out there to, they throw enough kind of breadcrumbs to get those people who doubt the narrative to go, see, there it is. But then they'll always go, but that's not, then they dismiss it and that sort of stuff, so that they prime up the other side, and so they can dismiss it, right? This is how they do it. It's the limited hang. Again, do your own research. Jump in here. Take a look at some of the stuff. There's a search terms. Just look at vaccine deaths and that sort of stuff. Just take a look at what they're saying. Look at the way the narrative is presented. But the one thing I guess I want to leave you with this morning, back up here and say, guys, I hear it all the time, how alone each of us feel. And it does seem like, fuck, man, you're in this by yourself. But look at, we got almost 200 people here right now on my channel, my tiny little channel. Like 200 people here. It's awesome. And 200 of the best people that I know. You're not alone, right? And there are people from all over the world. And when it's dark out there, one light illuminates a lot even a tiny light illuminates a lot. Well, if you're spread far and wide, that means the opportunity, you are the light in this world, right? You have the opportunity to be the light around you. So be that shining light, right? You don't have to preach it. You just live it, right? When you're not afraid, and when you know what you know, and this stuff doesn't scare you, right? You have power. And that's what they've been afraid of the whole time, is that you have power. And now you're discovering it. When you get rid of the lie, you realize the power that you have. The power to literally make the world around you by manifesting your own thoughts. And especially when those thoughts are centered around love. That's the way the world was made. Right? The world actually, nature abhors a vacuum, and it also abhors hatred. But they turned everybody into hating people, that it lives. But that's not the way I think it was originally made, and that's why our hearts tend toward love and compassion initially. Kids don't hate until they learn to. Neither do they. They also believe in what they cannot see until they're told not to. There you go. Fuck the fucking fuckers, but love your neighbor. How about that? I love you guys. I'm so appreciative of everybody who joins us every week. I hope, Rose, if you're out there, love you so much, and I hope desperately that you're back next week. Not because I don't like Karen, because I love Karen. I'm so delighted to have you here, and I'm so grateful, Karen, for you coming. But we miss you, Rose, and your lovely spark, and we all the best for you. And thank you for everybody, again, who comes and joins us as well, because I know that, again, from my perspective, it really is all about you. It's not us. It's really you, and I love to see you guys here. I love to see people waking up, and I love to see you guys. The way you treat each other in chat is awesome. I see so many other streams in which they're just arguments and just vitriol in the chat. It makes me just like, ugh. When I watch you guys, and I usually do try to, I rarely listen to the programs, but I do try to catch the chat log. You guys are awesome, genuinely, I'm delighted. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a Poppy Camp soon. I'm still pushing for that every day, trying to take one step closer. And we'll see what we get.
Poppy Camp. That sounds fun.
Yeah, exactly. Way better than a FEMA camp.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll ask again because I interrupted last time. Parting words?
No. Tonight I have Unveiling This Realm with Brian. That's about it. So maybe I'll see you all later this evening.
That'd be awesome.
And
I will try to make it back. We did not do a Secrets of Saturn show last night. Jason had a secret meeting with an unnamed person. I'm very curious to see how that went. He was getting some inside information, so we'll see what happens there.
Oh, nice.
I know. I'm excited about that. Let's see. Will there be Kool-Aid? Not at the camp, but we might have green butter coffee. So we got that. It won't kill you. It'll, we'll put a little DMT in there. But anyway, yeah. I'll be back on, believe it or not, on Unintended Consequences. This, I think, is a first since I very first started the channel. I actually have already a title and an idea for this weekend's program. Usually it's very last minute. It's whatever comes. But, yeah, it's good versus evil or good versus bad. We'll talk about that more Saturday morning at 9 on the West Coast, and that's noon on the East Coast on Unintended Consequences. And then I'll be back on Sunday. Ancient Wisdom for a Modern World, as we dig into something that makes sense. And then, let's see, I think it's actual Sola Scriptura this week with Wayne McCord Jr., provided he can make it. So with all that, guys, you are the fucking best. Support the people that you like. Take care of the content providers that are putting it out there for you, because I got to tell you, Rose and Jason and, Crow and... God, David Weiss and Brian and Karen, all of us can attest that it's not easy, and we take a lot of shit. But it's we're all about the truth, and we're all we're all about our community. So support support the things you like, and be good to one another. And we'll see you again next time right here on either the Poppycock or the CockyPop. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But Rose, wish you again all the best. Get better and fuck the fucking fuckers. Take care, guys.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Cocks don't pop at all, poppycock cocks do poppy by 4. And that's why all the folks on poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on poppycock back in the poppycock hills, they won't let me back on poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. The earth don't spin at all on poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. And beer don't stick to balls on poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no poppycock about that. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. Take a tray.
Grab your partner, swing him around, slap him in the face, knock him down. Do-si-do, take the truth and flip it on the floor. That's what the media does. They lie to you, 'cause they're slugs. 'Cause they're slugs.
Sheep don't like to flock on poppycock, ain't no poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on poppycock, waking with a poppycock kin. And poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Baldni. so freaking early. Poppycock, you and me.
Promenade and fuck the fucking fuckers. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you again next week right here on the CockyPop Poppycock. Who the fuck knows? See you guys next time. Take care. Bye.